Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is the 37th tutorial in this course, and in this tutorial we're going to see how we can return multiple values from functions. So in the last tutorial we returned one value from a function, and we used the return statement for it. And if you guys are wondering, okay, what is the need for this tutorial? We can just use the return statement as many times as we want to return values from a function. Well, that's not going to work. And the reason for that is that the return statement works pretty much like the break statement. So if you guys remember, when we used break within loops, we discovered that when we use the break statement, we just get out of the loop and we don't continue with the iterations of the loop, even if there are some iterations left. And that's how the return statement works. So if you've used it once in your function, then you can be sure that the rest of the code that you have in your function is not going to execute, because you're immediately going to jump out of the function definition and you're going to proceed with the rest of the code, right? So we can't use return statement multiple times, but instead what we can do is, let's say you want to return 3 values, then you can create an array of 3 values and you can return the array, right? So instead of passing in instead of like returning one variable, you could return an array variable that contains multiple values. And that's what we're going to do in this script. So I've got a file opened up in my text editor. It's called return_multiple.php. On line number 6 in the file, I have the opening PHP tag. On line number 16, I have the closing PHP tag. And then on line number 7, I have defined a function called division, and this function is going to take in 2 arguments, as you can see. And the first one is going to be a number, and the second one is going to be a number with which we are going to divide the first number. So that's why the name of the function is division. And when you perform division operation, you basically get 2 values, and the first one is the quotient, and you obtain the quotient by using the division operator in PHP. So that's nothing but the /. And since I want to see a neat value with like just one digit after the decimal point, I've used a round function. So we're going to first perform the division, then round it off to 1 decimal point, and then we're going to assign that value to the variable quotient, right? And then on line number 10, I have used the modulo operator here. So to get the remainder, we are going to first find out the remainder value using the modulo operator, and then assign the value to the variable remainder. And if the number is perfectly divisible, that is, if the value that's passed to dividend is perfectly divisible by the value that's passed to divisor, then 0 will be assigned, else whatever value has to be assigned will be assigned. And then I have used the return statement on line number 11, and I have created an array with these 2 values. So I've used the array function here, and the first element in the array is the variable quotient, and the second element in the array is the variable remainder. So this is what is going to be returned to the calling variable. So on line number 13, I have an array variable. Since we're getting an array value out of the function, we have to assign it to an array variable. So this one's called my_arr, and I have passed in 63 and 5 as the argument. So we're going to divide 63 by 5, and we're going to round that off to 1 decimal point. So that I think is going to be 12.6. Quotient is going to be 12.6, and the remainder is obviously going to be 3, because 5 times 12 is 60, and 3 is the remainder left. And then on line number 14, I have an echo statement in which I have used the index position 0 to see the value of the quotient, and on line number 15, I have used the index position 1 to see the value of the remainder, right? So I'll save the file and I'll open my browser, and in here I'll look for the file return_multiple.php, and there we go. We see quotient is 12.6 and remainder is 3, right? So that's how you return multiple values from functions. And I hope you guys had fun watching this tutorial. You may subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'm going to see you in the next video, in which we'll discuss something interesting for sure. And that's it for now. Take care.